Oh man, Mile High City, we are live after an unbelievably thrilling game one win for the Denver Nuggets in Oklahoma City against the Oklahoma City team that everybody was saying we didn't have a shot against. We were big time underdogs. I never understood why. But man, oh man, what kind of a game was that? And let's break it down, man. The Nuggets get the win 121 to 119 on a game-winning three-point shot from AG. There is so much to unpack in this game. We're going to try our best to do it, but really what it boils down to is that the Nuggets showed their championship pedigree type of grit tonight. They really did, man. I mean, they consistently barely stayed in the game. They managed the last few minutes extremely well. They knocked down big time free throws when they needed to. And despite the absolute dog shit, horrendous NBA officiating, and that's on both sides, it was just pathetic in every way to watch, per usual with the NBA and the referees. They've got to get that fixed. But holy moly, man, I am on a cloud right now. I am actually in complete shock. I was getting ready to go live. I was like, there's a lot to be optimistic about. It was going to be one of those streams where I was like, yeah, we lost, but it is what it is. But man, unbelievable. And you're right. Andy's absolutely right. Fouling up three comes back to bite you, and it does. And I was blown away because as much as the Nuggets kind of stole this game and made enough plays at the end to be able to win it, OKC gave this one away. It was head scratching. I had no idea why they were making some of the decisions that they were. I also think that them just consistently challenging everything helped give us a lot of rest, man. Like a break that we needed, basically free timeouts, even if some of the challenges were successful by the OKC Thunder. Very rookie move by the coach. But it almost seemed like the whole team was really tight. And man, was that fun to watch. Jokic goes for 42, which is crazy. Like it was one of those nights where you're kind of thinking to yourself, like, how the hell did he get 42? He was getting absolutely, killed all night, fouled, no calls. The fact that he ended the game with he had like 10 free throw attempts, I think, but that was really towards the end. It was like 4 free throw attempts. Like I said, the NBA officiating is absolute dog shit. And that goes for both sides. There was a lot of incredibly soft calls, that went our way and vice versa. And I just hated it. I hated that about it. But man, Aaron Gordon just coming up so clutch, hitting a huge 3-pointer after Chet Holmgren misses both the free throws while they were up 1 point. And it was crazy, man. It was crazy. You got to give Russell Westbrook his flowers. That guy is consistently off the chain. Like I'll take the bad plays. I'll take the turnovers. I'll take the missed layups. That guy is all heart. It's all grit, man. He's always making the right play when he's got the ball in his hands. And he plays his ass off on defense. And he brings an energy and a competitive nature that you don't get with anybody else off the bench. And it was unbelievable to see, man. But shout out to the Nuggets. I want to know how y'all feeling, man. Let me know in the comments below. But this one was crazy. This game was one of the most wild games I've ever seen, especially to start a series. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things you look at and you say, this is going to be a long series. I can understand why the Oklahoma City Thunder were favorite, but there was no reason in hell they should have been 9.5-point favorites. There's no reason in hell that, the odds makers had them winning in 5. I don't get it because the biggest difference is, man, and something that you cannot teach is championship experience, championship pedigree. You obviously have that with Jokic. You have that with Jamal. You've got that with Aaron Gordon. You have that with Christian Brown. And you've got that with Russell Westbrook. And the Thunder don't have anybody except for Alex Caruso, who is a menace tonight, by the way, that can do that. And there are some concerns, right? I mean, the Nuggets bench outside of those players that I had just mentioned is going to be a problem. It was nice to see Julian Strawther, come in the game. Came in 6 minutes, 2 points. I'd like to see a little bit more of him. I like the length. I like the 3-point ability that he's got. And let's be honest, guys. I mean, we won this game because Nikola Jokic just absolutely turned into a menace. I didn't like a lot of the things he was doing. I didn't like his attitude tonight. He was really fired up, which you like to see, but he was playing a little bit recklessly. He was complaining after every call, which, like, you look at it and you say rightfully so, but it's also like, come on, man. Like, you got to keep playing through the whistle. You got to stop hurting your team. And but ultimately, 42 points. He has a massive, I think he had like 17 or maybe even 20 in the fourth quarter. I don't know exactly what it is. But he went off. He went off. And, a huge kudos, man. I love this new version of Jamal Murray. I'm a big fan of it, man, because Oklahoma City was not giving him any room. They were not making things easy on him. In the past, right? In the past, the Jamal Murray would have just tried to shoot himself out of a slump, or he would have tried to force passes, and he would have really hurt the team. He did not. He made the right play. He was fine with the ball not being in his hands and just creating space, off ball. And he's not making those head scratching plays that ultimately drive people nuts. And, when he got his ISO one-on-ones, he would take the opportunity, he would convert. He ended up with a big game as well. ESPN is not loading the stats in full time yet. So, but Jamal Murray ends up finishing with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He was plus 12. And we were able to overcome not just the referees and their just horrendously just inconsistent calling of the game and slowing it down and causing crazy frustration, but Michael Porter Jr. And his absolutely worthless nature of playing. I don't want to make it personal because it's not personal. Obviously, when I'm talking about sports, I'm talking about the player. But this Nuggets team was down 4 points with 11 seconds left, man. Ended up winning by 2. It's crazy. But Michael Porter Jr. was absolutely horrendous in every sense of the word tonight. Every single sense of the word. 24 minutes, 1 of 8 shooting. He had 2 points. He was minus 15. Aside from Payne Watson, he had the worst plus minus. The difference is this. Payne Watson plays his ass off on defense. Michael Porter Jr. looked like he had no idea what he was doing. He was slow. He was complacent. He couldn't grab a rebound. He looked like he didn't care. And this is what drives me absolutely bonkers about him, because in the games where you see the effort, right, where you see him playing a little bit, he's locked in. He's a very good player. He's got crazy talent. He's got the ability to hit shots. But if it doesn't start out clean for him, he's worthless. And I was really mad at Adelman for a little bit because I felt like, why are you still have this guy in the game? But to David Adelman's credit, he took him out essentially for the entire fourth and never looked back. And I loved it, man. Let's get to the comments here. David, my guy, is in here. He said, I told my friends about an hour ago that Chet isn't ready for the level of pressure yet. No, he's not. And a lot of these guys aren't, man. This is different. Like Oklahoma City, let's not get it twisted. They're a very good team. All right. I mean, ain't no doubt about that. But I'll say this. They played the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. They've never really been tested by true, championship pedigree team. And obviously those kinds of things have to happen. I remember when the Nuggets were in the same boat, right? Eventually, at some point, you've got to become that team. But, tonight, they might ultimately end up winning the series still, but tonight they did not look ready for primetime at all. From the head coach to the players, I couldn't believe it. Like, they were up 3, and they took the quickest foul on Jokic, right, to put him on the free throw line. Made no sense to me. All they did was put the pressure back on themselves and allowed the Nuggets at minimum 2 more possessions, given the fact that there was 10 seconds on the clock. You knew the Nuggets were going to foul. And as long as the Nuggets hit their free throws, which to their credit at the end especially they did, because they were struggling at free throws for a little bit. But they hit all their free throws at the end. All it took was their players to miss 1 free throw. Chet misses the first one. He misses the second one, which might have been on purpose, which is also stupid. Nuggets end up running it. Russ gets the kick out to AG, who's wide open, and bang, he knocks a shot down. It was unbelievable. And, I don't know if the Nuggets had a timeout, after they got that rebound. I'm glad that they didn't take it. It was the same exact logic that I had in the game where Adelman was getting, they were giving him a lot of shit because he didn't take the timeout. No, I like it. Go out there and use the momentum, run the floor. You've got the mismatch. It was essentially a 3-on-2, and they were able to get the bucket, man. I loved it. I thought he was awesome. And just like David says here, man, I think he was great with the rotations. He was. He said it before the series, and I love the fact that he stuck with it. He said, if you're playing well, then you're going to play. If you're not playing well, then you're not going to play. And that's exactly what he did. He's been playing the best players, the guys that are the hottest, down the stretch every single time. And you got to love it. And I don't know what the hell is wrong with there it is. Now they got it. Now they fixed it. All right, so now we can actually show the box score and get into it, because I don't know what the hell was going on with ESPN, but I mean, guys, you got to love this, man. You got to love this. Jokic finishing this still isn't even updated. He had 42, I believe. Oh no, maybe he had 40. This is a shit show. Welcome to Marky Sports. No, he had 42. This is wrong. So he finished with 42 points in 42 minutes, which is unbelievable. And like I said, when it all counted, 22 rebounds. When it all counted, man, he took over. He was making the plays with 5 fouls. Even he was being aggressive. He knew that Chet and Hardenstein, they're not going to stop him in general, but they definitely couldn't with 5 fouls. They ended up putting small guys on him, and he just ate. He took advantage of it. And Oklahoma City dared other players on the Nuggets to beat him, and it's exactly what happened, man. Yeah, you can see they still have 0 points for Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon had a massive 22 points. Jamal Murray with 21. Christian Brown had 11 with 13 rebounds, but Christian Brown was just, dude, he covered Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the entire game, it felt like. And he just made it hard on him, man. And Shai ended the game with 33 points, on 12 of 26 shooting. But he was minus 16. They really muddied it up, and I just thought they were making big plays. And people are going to come and say, all right, well, the Oklahoma City gave this away, and blah blah blah, and the Jokic isn't going to score 40 every game, and you can come at it and say a lot of those things, and a lot of it would be true, right? In a sense of, there was a lot of things that Oklahoma City did to give this game away. But however, I'll tell you guys this: the Nuggets had 18 turnovers. That ain't going to happen every single game. 18 turnovers. They ended up shooting 31% from 3, which was not nearly as bad as it was for most of the game. So they ended up coming back, man. It was unbelievable. And I would tonight he was our Pat Riley. I wouldn't crown him that yet, but unbelievable. I'm still kind of in shock, man. But what a gritty win by the Nuggets. Something clicked on them in the fourth, I think, when they realized, because they were frustrated. I mean, Jokic was frustrated, and that's really kind of rare to see. He was just not only really mad and complaining about the calls, which, like I said, I didn't like, but he was almost like a little bit flustered. He was the flagrant foul was just really uncharacteristic of him. And I felt like, man, is this team kind of reeling? What's going on? But it seemed like something clicked in the fourth quarter. There was about 7 minutes left. They were, still down about 10, but it was very much in it. I think they realized, man, we haven't been playing well, and we just need to finish this game out. And Jokic really settled in. He seemed to be a lot more focused. He just kind of played his game, did his thing. The rest of the team settled in. The defense was phenomenal. Russ was making huge plays. It would have been really cool if he hit that wide open 3 that he had. That would have given us the lead. But ultimately, he made the right kick out pass, man. And like I said, his defense was monstrous. It was big time. It kept us in the game. He had a huge block. They didn't call it a block, but I'm pretty sure he got a block on it that ended up, earning us an additional possession. And we went down and we ended up getting a score. So it was amazing. It was amazing. Aaron Gordon has become my second favorite Nugget ever. It's easy. It's easy to make that comparison, man, that argument, because not only is he a phenomenal basketball player and he just does all the dirty work and he's so consistent, but he's such a likable dude. So much versatility to his game. Always hustles his ass off on defense, always hustles his ass off to get rebounds. He had one of those, nasty ones on the floor. He got on the floor. He He got the ball. He ends up calling a timeout, earns us another possession. Just those little things, man. And he can hit the outside shot when he's open. Ain't no doubt about it. He's physical and can dominate in the key. And he is arguably, in fact, at this point, I don't think it's arguable. He's the second most important player to this Nuggets team because he can actually spell Nikola Jokic in the non-Jokic minutes and fill in as a big man and at least let us ride it out a little bit, in the opportunities that we can. But what a game. What a game, man. And sure, the Nuggets stole it. But I think I look at this like it's a huge positive for Denver because we did so many things poorly. The refereeing was just very annoying tonight. It was. And like I said, it wasn't even that it was unfavorable to the Nuggets because there was a lot of calls where I was like, why are we getting the foul? It was just so inconsistent. Every single possession, it seemed like they were calling a foul. It's like sometimes you just got to let these guys play, man. It almost makes it unwatchable. But to their credit, they held the whistle, on a couple key late possessions, and it made it at least, entertaining at the end. But I'll tell you guys what, if we ended up losing this game, I would not have blamed the loss on the officials. I would have probably gone at them a little bit harder, but we wouldn't have lost the game because of the officials. There's a lot of stupid things that we did too, but it's just pathetic to watch, man. Sometimes it's like, let these grown ass men play. But thank you to the Thunder, man. Thanks for the gift. That was awesome. And I love it. David out here coming saying, I have no doubt in my mind, Jokic and Adelman will solve this defensive pressure down low on the block. Yeah, something about this team. It's crazy because, Michael Malone was known as the coach that was defensive minded, right? He always preached defense. Obviously, his messaging was wearing thin with the team. They weren't really listening to him because, ironically, Dave Adelman comes and he's more of an offensive minded coach. But they've responded and they've played so much better defensively. And a lot of it is the effort. But man, I mean, I'm blown away that against the Clippers in 7 games, one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. And then they go up against the best defensive team in the NBA at Oklahoma City in game 1. And they've matched the team's defensive intensity, throughout the Clipper series and then definitely tonight as well. And they really kind of gave Oklahoma City a little bit of a dose of their own medicine. And so, that was insane to see, man, we got to figure out something with Alex Caruso. He's one of those guys that's kind of a pest, man. He really is as my brother-in-law said in a group chat, he's a little pest, man. He's somebody that you would love to have on your team, but you'd hate to play against him. But he was on it tonight, man. I mean, he scored 20. How often is that going to happen? I don't know. He's a player that averaged in the regular season 7 points a game. He's that energy guy. He's that guy that does the dirty work, and I love his game. But he's not necessarily the biggest scorer. But the fact that he went off tonight, you can't expect for that every single time. I think that they need to still allow him to shoot, if he's open. But you got to mitigate him being a factor elsewhere. But in terms of the defense, man, they've just been so much better. They've been better communicating. The effort's been great, except for when MPJ's on the floor, it's basically a power play, essentially, for the other team. It's a 5-on-4. I'm so damn sick of that dude. And what bothers me about his game is he'll probably play well in game 2. He'll probably go 6 of 9 from 3. And everybody be like, yeah, this is why you need MPJ. And then they'll just forget about how unbelievably bad he is everywhere else. Very frustrating. But you gotta ride with him for as long as you can. It is what it is. I mean, I get it. He's got the shoulder injury. I thought he played the last couple games of last series pretty well. But when he plays like he does tonight, when he just doesn't look like he wants to be out there on the court, it is infuriating. And I have no respect for players like that because it's like, bro, you're a professional. Your teams are out there busting their ass. And you're sitting there just watching. And I was happy to see Russ jawing at him a little bit. I saw him kind of yell at him. Like, somebody's got to wake this dude up a little bit. And but kudos to Adelman. He took him out. And he rolled with Russ and Brown and Nikola and MPJ and Nikola and Murray and Gordon. And I like that lineup a lot. And I thought they utilized Payne Watson really well tonight. Like I said, I mean, he was 1 of 5. He did hit a 3-pointer. He had 3 points in 15 minutes, and ultimately the plus minus was 22. But Payne Watson brings you something really unique to this team. Like, you put him on the floor when you have your other scorers on there, you're going to get a really good defender, somebody that's going to, make it tough on the opponent, that's going to hustle his ass off. And I really felt like he did today. And, he's one of my guys too on this team. I love it. But bad would be an understatement, David, to be honest with you, man. He literally looked high. Like, this is actually a really good comment. Like, he should do cocaine, because MPJ tonight looked like he was high. He was slow. He was like walking back towards the ball instead of hustling to avoid the backcourt violation. And then he got the backcourt violation, and he was confused why he got a backcourt violation. It was pathetic. It was pathetic to watch. And I hate it when you get that version of MPJ. Because as annoying as it is, he is our best 3-point shooter, and we are a team that struggles at shooting the 3-point ball. But guys, I mean, I don't really care what anybody says. Like, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA for a reason. Through all of, like, and you also have to understand, he gets no favorable whistles. Like, literally, he does not get any favorable whistles, which most superstars do, which that's a part of the problem with the NBA, right? Why do superstars get whistles and other guys don't? Just creates an entirely different narrative. That's for another day. But he still plays through it, busts his ass, gets big buckets in the crucial moments, and ends up taking games over. That 3 ball that he had was massive. Had a huge 3 to keep the game within reach and flip everything. So yeah, man. I love Nikola so much. I love the way he played. I thought Jamal was awesome tonight. Despite not having the biggest scoring night, he started the game hot. He kept us in it early. Gave us the lead, and then a little bit of a cushion, and then it ended up kind of allowing for us to take the blow from OKC without the game getting out of reach. And that's kind of been the narrative for the last few weeks, really. Even in the last series, it was like, just kind of stick with it, and I really like it. T. Fishes said he went to go take a poop at 4 minutes thinking it was over, came back, and then he shit himself again in the last 13 seconds. I love it, T. I hope you cleaned yourself up, man. And it was amazing, bro. I was in the same position. I mean, I wasn't gonna go take a shit at 4 minutes, but I was literally like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do live tonight. Why not? It's gonna be fun. We'll come talk about it. I was just gonna come bitch about the refs and just how annoying they were. But I was gonna talk about a lot of positives. Like, I like the grit that the team showed. I felt like this is gonna, I felt really optimistic, even in what I perceived was gonna be a loss about the series. But hey, man, it ain't over till it's over. And that is true for tonight. They did an unbelievable job. They can't stop Jokic. We've beaten Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it. I think what OKC was doing early in the game was pretty creative, in a sense of they didn't care so much about. They didn't just want to stop Nikola from scoring and try to limit him, but they were okay with him scoring as long as he wasn't the distributor that he normally is, right? Which they were successful at that, because he did have 6 assists on the night. Goodness, this thing's driving me crazy. I think they finally got it right. Yeah, he had 6 assists on the night. But the difference is down the stretch, he just took over, man. Ends up with 42 points. And, Murray had 6 assists, right? Russell Westbrook had 2, one of them being, the feed to Aaron Gordon to hit the winner. Christian Brown had 3. So it was being spread out. But it's crazy because, they had 2, 12, 15, 16, 17, 8. They had 18 assists as a team. That's pretty low, right? That seems like it's really low. So not a lot of second chance opportunities, I guess, is what that would tell you. But yeah, kind of wild actually, having 16 assists. But yeah, let's go back here through these numbers, because they finally are actually working on this stupid ass website of ESPN. Shout out to ESPN though. Love them. yeah, I mean, field goal percentage, we ended up at 44%. We played really good defense, forced them at 42. Guys, you have to understand too, Oklahoma City was the third ranked offensive efficiency team in the NBA and the number one in offensive and defensive efficiency. So there's a reason they were 68-14. There's a reason they were 35-6 at home. So stealing a game like the Nuggets did on the road and basically winning back home court is huge. Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. But they're basically just as good of a team at home as they are on the road, which is wild. So we'll see how they respond to, this heightened level of competition, the heightened level of stakes in the playoffs. And then when they come back and play here in Denver in game 3 with the altitude as well. But I've been saying it, man. We match up well against this team. They are deep, ain't no doubt about it. And we are going to have to play heavy minutes for Jokic and Murray. Murray played 44 minutes. Jokic played 42. Ideally, you would like to see those numbers lower because you just don't want to absolutely kill these guys. But we're not really in the position where we have that luxury, mainly because you have a completely worthless starter in MPJ. If MPJ can have one of those games where he gets a little bit hot and he's contributing and he's scoring, and he can spell, Jamal Murray a little bit, that'd be helpful. But Jamal Murray playing 44 out of the 48 minutes is pretty insane, man. It is pretty insane. But I do want to see more Julian Strawther, bro. I'm not going to lie. I really liked how he was playing at times in the regular season before he had his knee injury. I just thought he was good. Like, he was really growing as a player. And his size and his three-point ability, I think, will really be able to help us in the series. So I'd like to see him play a little bit more. Maybe he can be the guy that spells Jamal. But free throw percentage was 81.8. At one point we were missing some pretty key free throws, like in the middle of the fourth. But down the stretch, when we needed them, we were absolute nails. I mean, shout out to AG hitting his free throws. Shout out to Nikola Jokic, banging some of those down after a little bit of a rough start. Out rebounding them 63-43 is exactly what we need to continue doing. We do have the size advantage. We do have the strength advantage. This is where I feel like we could win. And it ultimately is the main reason, one of the main reasons why we won against the Clippers. We need to keep that kind of advantage against this Oklahoma City team. Ain't no doubt about it. And anytime you can give them less second chance point opportunities is huge. But the 18 turnovers was a problem, man. We had 10 at half. And so it was not good. It was not good, but they did a good job of cleaning it up when it mattered. And look at that. Because of the 18 turnovers, we gave them 23 points free off those turnovers. So not that bad considering there was 18 of them, but still crazy. Fast break points were even. You kind of expect that. Both teams like to run, which is fun. And then points in the paint, we had a little bit of an advantage. And ultimately, they had a lot of fouls. And I thought the Nuggets did a really good job of attacking them. Something that earlier in the season, man, I don't know if it's a Malone thing. I'm not going to blame everything on the coach. But it was like, bro, these guys would be in foul trouble, 4 fouls, and they wouldn't go after them. And I liked how they were going after them and really forcing them to either, make a business decision, right? And they don't want to get fouled out, or are they going to get a 5th foul, or are they just going to be an easy bucket on defensively? And so shout out to them. If I was an Oklahoma City Thunders fan tonight, I really was I really would put this one on the coach. I thought their coach was terrible. I don't know what he was thinking. Telling his players to foul with 10 seconds left to give them automatic free throws made no sense to me. Essentially, they were just saying, "Oh, I think they were betting that we were going to miss one." That's completely taking the control of the game out of your hands. And I loved it. I'll take it. I thought it was a bad decision. I also thought him getting challenge happy was a little bit of an advantage for us as well, especially when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saying don't challenge it. Like, I fouled him. Don't challenge it. He's like, well, the coaches in the back row were saying to do it. And a lot of those late game challenges, man, like I said, they helped Jokic and Murray recover after playing crazy minutes. So shout out to them. Shai Vargas over here saying, do you think the Nuggets could win the series? Yeah, absolutely. I said that before the series started. I could not believe we were the underdogs that we were. It was kind of mind blowing to me. The Vegas line had the Nuggets, the series ending in 5.5 games. and under 5.5 games being the favorite, meaning they expected the game to go 4 or 5 at most. That was the favorite. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. We were 2-2 against this team in the regular season. But more than that, this is a matchups game. It's not about what you've done in the regular season. It's not about what your regular season record is. You can ask a lot of teams that had a great regular season record. You know, the team that had the greatest regular season record in Oklahoma City, going 73-9, which is crazy, ended up not winning the championship. And so playoff basketball is different in a sense of you're going up against an opponent, got to win a series. You know each other, and it's going to come down to the small things, the little things that are going to ultimately end up making you win. And that's exactly what the Nuggets showed tonight. And even in the game, the situations where it was like we were kind of staying in it the whole time, right? I mean, we were kind of always there. It was never too far out of reach. We were able to, and then, little do you know, there's a minute left. The Nuggets are down 4 points in the final minute after we kind of clawed our way back. Jokic hits a big-time three-pointer after hitting a big-time three-pointer previously to keep it under 10. And then from that point, he just took over. He got us within. I'm watching the highlights now. It was 107-115. Jokic drove in, got the foul on the and one, missed that free throw. Then went back down, got the bucket, got us within 4, and then hits a huge 3 to get us within 1, and then makes the right play, dishing it out to Russ with 22 seconds left. Russ misses it. AG gets a huge rebound. He should have kicked it out. He didn't. He ends up going up for it. They block him. Great defensive play. And and then they get it into Chet Holmgren. We foul him with 9.5 seconds left, up 1. He misses the first one, and at that point, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna have a chance to win it. Misses the second, and they run it. They had the the knowledge to just go up there and make a play. You got the man advantage, and I genuinely couldn't believe that we ended up winning that game. So it was crazy, but I do think the Nuggets can win the series. Like I said, mainly because experience is huge in the playoffs. We know that. We've seen it. Even in the championship run that we had, it was about us having to learn on the fly and get a good understanding of what we needed to do to be able to win. And we certainly did that. And those are things that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have to learn, right? So I like our chances a lot in this series. The biggest concern before and even after this game is, can our bench hold up enough? Can we make the most out of those non-Jokic minutes, at least to keep us in the game as much as possible? That's going to be the big thing. And if we can do that, I have no doubt about it. Our starting 5 can, and by starting, I mean Russ, not MPJ, even though technically MPJ starts. Our starting 5 can roll with anybody and beat anybody up. And the defensive intensity has been amazing. I love it. I do sense that this is one of those games that is going to result in kind of an ugly game too. We might be on a little bit of a high, a little bit of a hangover after a 7-game series, only having, 2 days of rest, playing a crazy hard-fought physical game 1, getting a game winner. This is one of those games that I feel like will wake OKC up, and maybe the Nuggets might be a little bit fatigued. But if that's the case, and I don't expect for them to win game 2, it'd be awesome if they did. But this win, gives you the home court advantage back. And we did what we had to do. We had to win at least one of the games on the road. And we did that. So unbelievable, man. Kodiak, what's up, my guy? What is going on, brother? John Houston saying we should root for the Warriors. I think so too. I don't want to play Minnesota. I think we smashed the Warriors, but can't look ahead that much. Dave is also asking, do you start Westbrook or do you stick with MPJ and not screw up the chemistry? Yeah, it's a good question, man. I think you got to stick with what you've been doing. Westbrook off the bench is a really good weapon to have. He's better off the bench because when he's coming off the bench, he's not necessarily expected to be this big time scorer. But in the moments where he is, depending on the lineup, he can be. He'll be a little bit more aggressive and he'll make the most out of his minutes. Whereas when he's a starter, he doesn't necessarily need to be much of a scorer at all. He just needs to bring a good defensive intensity, but he gives you a lot of good flexibility. I think you keep going with what you've been doing. But I would like to see, Strawther get mixed in a little bit more. I did like that idea. Or if it's going to be Jalen Pickett, that's fine too. But play him a little bit more than just a few minutes. Don't be scared to do that. But obviously, I understand it in this game because we were down for a majority of it after kind of dominating the first part of the first quarter. We were always kind of trying to come back from behind. So I think it makes sense why they rolled with those the 5 main guys. But we'll see. Knicks Celtics was awesome too, man. I was texting my buddies; they're big time Knicks fans. We were pumped up for them, and the fact that the Nuggets were able to get it done too is huge. But yeah, unbelievable. And I do. Shai Vargas asking, do you think Russell Westbrook is playing a lot better with the Nuggets? Just like David said, Russ is our Bruce Brown 2.0. He's been amazing. He was the perfect addition. I said it at the beginning. A lot of people gave me a lot of shit for it because they were like, oh, we should have kept KCP because of defense. I'm like, listen, dude, bringing in Russell Westbrook here was exactly the kind of dog mentality that we needed, the kind of player, the energy. I don't give a shit what happens. We're just going to figure it out. Like he said, it's part of the Russ show, right? It's the Russ dilemma. You're going to have ugly ball, but you're going to have a lot of fun stuff. But he brings so much energy. He brings so much experience. And because he doesn't have to be a big-time scorer, there's not a lot of pressure of him to be a big-time scorer. He can play loose. He can play his game, focus on playing good defense, making shots money, getting the tough rebounds. And then ultimately that's going to open up opportunities for him to score, and it's going to make him confident. And I've just loved what I've been seeing. Even after that brutal Minnesota game that ultimately ended up really getting Michael Malone fired, where he missed the layup. People were like, bench Russ, you can't play him. He's unplayable. I'm like, guys, he's our only hope if we're going to ever turn it around, because he gives you that ability off of the bench. So I love it. My guy Saeed saying, glad MPJ didn't get into sub for AG at the very end. Don't know if that was intentional or if the time was running out. Coach Adam and let it be. Well, they wanted to bring in MPJ because they figured if there was going to be a stoppage and after the free throws, and the Nuggets were going to need to hit a 3-ball to ultimately send the game into overtime, MPJ in that particular case makes a lot of sense. But he kind of held off to say, all right, let's see how this all goes. When Chet Holmgren missed that free throw, the first one, he was like, oh, no, we don't need him, because now we don't need a 3 to win the game. We needed a 2. We ultimately got a 3 and won by 2, which was crazy. But that was the right move to make, because as long as at that point you're not asking MPJ to have anything to do with defense, and if he happens to get lucky and get open, then maybe he can knock one down. So I'm good with that. Yeah, P. Watt with the -22 was rough, for sure. But like I said, I thought his impact on the game was a lot better than the -22 rather than MPJ. And a lot of the reasons why it was really low for him is because he was mainly in for like all of the non-Jokic minutes for a long time. And there was times where they were both in there together, and that kind of stopped it. But I love Peyton Watson's game, man. I thought that 3 that he had was big time, just given the fact that it kind of stopped a little bit of the momentum, stopped the bleeding a little bit, kept the game within reach. But like I said, I love what he does on the defensive side of the ball. He's just got to be a little bit more selective with his shots. And if he's going to go in and try to get those layups or those dunks, he's got to finish a little bit stronger. But he's he going to be just fine. You got to keep rolling with Peyton Watson. Ain't no doubt about that. Yeah, he was 1 for 1 from 3. Do you think the Nuggets would go back to FI? I'm going to guess that you meant finals. I'm guessing that's what that means. Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I think this might be a hot take, but I think the best teams in the West this year were the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers, and the Timberwolves. Right? I think I don't really care what seeding shows. I've never really cared about seeding in the NBA. I think those were the 4 teams that were the most well-rounded and best built to make a championship run. And so you knock the Clippers out already. And if you're able to knock out the Oklahoma City Thunder, there's no reason why we ain't going to be in the finals, in my opinion, because at that point you got to get through one more, and you're hoping that it's not Minnesota, but at this point, dude, I feel like you could really throw anything at this team, and they're going to be able to handle it. They've just gotten better and better at doing the little things as the playoffs has gone on. I think David Adelman's really got a stamp put on this team, and I love it. It was a huge win tonight. Cannot wait for game 2, man. Are we still doing the 48-hour thing so that they're only giving us 48 hours before the next game? Good for the fans. It's crazy. We don't even get an extra night when it comes back to Denver. We play Wednesday, and then we play Friday, and then we play Sunday. They're just going to keep it on that schedule, I guess. So, yeah, not a lot of opportunities for this team to get rest, but you know what? They're rolling right now, and we got to keep the momentum up. So it's going to be crazy. Like I said, I don't think game 2 is going to be a victory for us. I think it might be an ugly game just because you see that pretty often in the NBA playoffs. But if the Nuggets end up going up 2-0, woo, man, that would be something, huh? That would be something. But hey, man, I appreciate all you guys in the stream. This has been fun. Can't believe it's been 40 minutes. Go Nuggets. Thanks to all you guys in the comments. I'm gonna call it a night here, but enjoy this one, man. Go out and just try to relax the rest of your night. I hope you guys all sleep well. Have a good day tomorrow, man, and we'll come back to you guys. Check out some Broncos videos dropping, and we're gonna start really amping it up on the Nuggets here as the playoffs continue. So appreciate you guys riding with me, man. Stay safe, and until the next time, y'all remember. Peace out.